Progressively, the pipeline department is phasing out diesel generators with solar power at repeater stations. Additionally, oil also has 23% equity stake in the Duliajan-Numaligarh gas pipeline, which has also been operating since 2010. This line feeds natural gas to Numaligarh refinery for their captive use. The upgrading of the pumping infrastructure was initiated by Oil's Pipeline Department in 2012 due to the obsolescence of the existing equipment, lack of spares, necessity of adherence to new statutory standards, enhancement of safety, and to boost energy efficiency. The benefits derived from the upgrading process range from reduction in pipeline loss, enhancement of system life by 30 more years, higher energy efficiency with reduced carbon footprints, improved system design with latest automation technology, reduction of risks and hazards due to safer operation, amongst others.
Pipeline unit of Oil India Limited has taken up UGPS Phase 1 project, which we have completed in 2017. And with that, we have upgraded 8 pump stations and 4 receipt terminals. We have introduced the cutting-edge technology with VFD drive pumps, CEG and GEG, and new SCADA system. We have taken up Phase 2 project also, and which is now underway. I am quite proud that the pipeline officials as well as the workforce, they are quite competent in managing the operation and maintenance aspect of the equipments. And it has proved this by maintaining the old LN engines and LDS pumps, which has clocked 2 lakh running hours, which is a record milestone itself.
The upgraded equipment includes motor-driven VFD drive centrifugal pumps with tight line pumping as the operational and control philosophy, CEG, GEG for captive station power, new SCADA master control station, amongst others.
Naharkatia to Barauni trunk pipeline, which is about 1157 kilometer, which is the lifeline of Assam. The people who are working in the pipeline are dedicated and stationed on the line.
Gam gam besto say pam a pipeline go Muy bil khal bam puri akakar Ranga mua mistri truck and tractor Obiram sole Say pam a pipeline go
In the dense forests of northeast India is where the legacy of the Indian oil and gas industry began. Burma Oil Company, which later got designated as Oil India Limited, OIL, undertook the construction of a 1,157 kilometers pipeline in the early 1960s. A project conceived and executed decades before modern technological advancements existed on the planet. The pipeline was nothing short of a technological marvel. In the 1960s, when BOC overtook the operations, bringing in much needed capital and expertise, its first order of business was the construction of the pipeline. A loan of £23 million was offered to BOC for the project. Constructing this pipeline, with a backdrop of a newly independent India, was surely a challenge of the utmost kind. Commissioned in two phases in 1962 and 1964, this trunk pipeline was designed to carry crude oil from the newly developed Nahor Katia and Moran oil fields of Upper Assam to public sector refineries located at Guwahati in Lower Assam and Barauni in Bihar. It also fed the vintage Digboi refinery of the Assam Oil Company, AOC, which had been commissioned over a century ago on the 11th of December 1901. The magic of its engineering lay in the fact that a single operative seated in a room at a strategic point of the pipeline system could control and monitor its entire length of 1,157 kilometers. For constructing the pipeline, 3,000 tons pipes of 418-kilometer pipeline up to Guwahati refinery arrived at the Calcutta port in December 1959 in 3 ships, which were then transported further to railway stations between Duliajan and Digaru. The total 31,641 tons of pipes was received by March 1960. Pipe laying job was awarded to Messrs. Mannesmann Saipem pipeline contractors, who started construction works from December 1960. Race against time. For a project as momentous as this, the construction was completed well within the time frame. The first phase within 1 year, 3 months time. Subsequently, second phase was completed in less than 8 months time. Once the first phase of the pipeline was commissioned, the Guwahati refinery was inaugurated in January 1962. Subsequently, after the commissioning of the second phase, the Barauni refinery was inaugurated on the 15th of January 1965. However, the construction of the pipeline wasn't devoid of its own challenges and mishaps. Adverse weather conditions in Upper Assam severely affected the construction work. In 1963, the first major pipeline damage occurred when the road bridge carrying it over Dhanasiri River near Jorhat collapsed due to high pressure of flood water. Later, a flood caused significant erosion at 2 locations, Chel and Parman. The cross-country pipeline crosses 78 rivers, challenging terrain, and protected areas such as Kaziranga National Park, Baksa Tiger Reserve, Jaldapara, Gorumara, Mahananda Wildlife Sanctuaries, and innumerable numbers of reserve forests in the states.
Hello. Check 1, 2, 3. We request our friends from the media to kindly take your seats. Very shortly, we will start the press conference. Thank you. On air. Hello. Request CMD sir, Director Finance, Director Operations, and RC to take the seats on the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure that on a very short notice all of you could come and be part of this press meet, which has been organized primarily focused at sharing with you Oil's record performance in the last quarter and in the 9 months of the current fiscal. As you can see, we have the entire functional directors of the company along with the Resident Chief Executive of Oil India Limited with us today. Before we start proceedings, it's customary to share with you the basic safety measures that we may have to take, unlikely possibility of an eventuality. As you may have observed, on your left, there are enough open spaces. If there is such a situation, you can take your steps out and stand in the vacant space available here. May I now request all of you to stand up for the corporate song of Oil India Limited.
रब से हमने जन्म लिया और दिया जग को जियारा
नया सा हो कोई आसमां पहुंचाना कोई हो जहां हमें उड़ना है उस नए क्षितिज की ओर
ऑयल इंडिया
अपनी तो मंजिल आसमां की ऊंचाई है अपना तो लक्ष्य सदा धरती की गहराई है जीत है आदत हमारी जीत अपनी पहचान है हमें हर दिन नया जोश है हर दिन अपनी नई उड़ान है हर मंजिल को पाना है कितना भी कठिन हो रास्ता हमें गर्व है हम पर के हम है ऑयल इंडिया नए क्षितिज की ओर नए क्षितिज की ओर
आपकी जिंदगी के हर पल की ऊर्जा हम हैं ऑयल इंडिया।
Thank you. May I now request Sri Sushil Chandra Mishra sir, CMD Oil India Limited, to share some of the highlights of Oil India's performance in the last 9 months of this fiscal, with focus on the last quarter, and thereafter we'll open the house for interaction. Thank you.
My colleagues from Oil India Limited and dear friends from the press and media. Actually, this press meet was initially scheduled to be held from 11 a.m. But due to certain busy schedule here and there, finally we could start it now. So I am thankful to all of you for being patient and joining this press meet. As you are aware that Oil India has been going through some tough and rough weather, but this current financial year as compared to last one has been giving very good results, and Oil India not only on financial front but on physical production, quantity wise in oil and gas, we have recorded good increase. While the financial figures and other things will be detailed by Director of Finance Shri Harish Madhav, I'll just take 2 minutes of you. I'd like to share that in the crude oil, we are recording at least 2% of increase as compared to last year. And in natural gas production, we have recorded about 17 to 18% increase. So that is a great achievement as far as Oil India is concerned. And during the very good crude oil price time, we have earned good profit also, good margin. Those details will be shared by Shri Harish Madhav, Director of Finance. And after that, we will take the question answer related to the finance. Thank you. I request Madhav sir to please.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, friends from the media. As CMD just briefed about the physical performance, on the financial front, last year was one of the lowest profits that we had made because of the very low crude oil and gas oil price realizations. The total profit last year we made was just about 1700 crore. But I am very happy to announce here that this year in the first 9 months, we have registered a growth of about 30% over the profits of last year. The profit declared for first 9 months is about 2,257 crore. And the main contributors to this is of course the physical production growth in oil and gas, plus the oil and gas price realizations. Gas price of course not very major increase so far. But crude oil, yes, last year from an average of about $43 per barrel. This year in the first 9 months our realization is about $73 per barrel. And the current trend of the oil prices, because of whatever incidents worldwide are happening, the pricing situation is very, very nice, very, very good. And the pricing will be even better in the fourth quarter. So results for the fourth quarter are expected to be better on the pricing front. Production also we expect, as CMD just mentioned, that the current trend of growing production will continue. So this financial year, supported by the results of the first 9 months, going to be a very, very good financial year as far as the profitability of the company is concerned. And in view of the good profits that we are recording, that we are reporting, we have declared a dividend also. First interim dividend we declared 3 rupees 50 paise per share in the month of in the month of November. And very recently, while declaring the third quarter results, we have also declared another interim dividend of I think 5 rupees 50 paise per share. So total 9 rupees per share, that is 90% of the value of the share, we have declared as interim dividend, which has been paid also. And final dividend of course will depend on the overall profitability of the company when we assess that in the month of May or end of April or May sometimes. So that is the brief on the financial thing. And one more update I would like to share with you, that as all of you may be knowing, that last year in the month of March, we had acquired equity stake in NRL, additional equity of 54%, and that included about 13% on behalf of the government of Assam. So this year, based on the money receipts from the government, as per the budgetary provisions, all that share transfer has happened to the government of Assam. The last transaction took place in the towards the end of December or beginning of January. So the current holding in NRL is 26% by government of Assam, 69.63% by us, and about 4.5% by the Engineers India Limited. So all that transaction has also been completed. And one more positive aspect of this better price realization and good financial management in the company has been that though we have rewarded the shareholders with better dividends compared to last year, we took a loan of about 6,300 crore for purchase of NRL shares, and I am happy again to inform that out of that a loan of about 4,100 crore we have already repaid, and another 200-300 crores we will be paying before the month of end of this current year. So 4,300 will be fully liquidating, and only 2,000 will remain, which we will try to manage in the next year also. So this that is the brief. I think we can open for questions. Dear sir, anything from you?
Thank you, Madhav. I also request Shri Pankaj Kumar Goswami to just update you on certain initiatives taken by Oil India in this year, particularly in the area of city gas distribution and hydrogen. Just for your information, Pankaj.
Thank you, CMD sir. As CMD sir has already highlighted that this year we are having an enhancement in production both in terms of crude oil and natural gas. Crude oil we are expecting around 1.6 to 2% increase from the last year, and in natural gas we are expecting 16 to 17% increase. Over and above, we have taken up some initiatives in the form of city gas distribution. We have participated in the last round of bidding, and oil and AGCL combined, we have owned another 3 GAs in Northeast, 2 in Tripura and 1 in Assam. And this is a good achievement for us because this is the future fuel. Gas will be the future fuel, and we will be going ahead with CGD, PNG and all those areas. Then secondly, one more initiative we have started, and I am very happy to share with you that we are the first E&P company to go ahead with a hydrogen plant in Assam with a new technology, and that job has already been started. The people are working at this plant is going to come at Jorhat, in our Jorhat pump station. Job has already started, and the original schedule was to be completed by May, but we are expecting that we will be able to complete this job by end of next month, that is end of March. So once that plant is ready, then we will be the first, we will be the pioneer in this particular journey. One more information, you all may be knowing that Oil India is taking up a mission for 4+ million ton of production. So in this case, we are going to enhance our production, crude oil production by around 40% and natural gas production by 89% by 23-24. So this is a big initiative taken by Oil India Limited, and we have a big master plan for that, and we have been working on that. I hope these are the new things I can add over and above what CMD has said.
Thank you.
One more update I would like to share with the media people here. Last year, that is 2021, on the capex, that is the investment in the projects, etc. Oil India was the company among the all PSUs in the oil sector which registered the maximum capex, about 300% of the target that we had set. Of course, this included a big amount on investment in NRL, but even otherwise also, we exceeded our capex target by about 13-14%. And this year also, we will be investing close to around 4,200, 4,300 crore. And of course, a major portion, 75-80% of all these investments happens in the state of Assam and other northeastern states.
Now I will just request Shri Prashanta Barkoti, our resident chief executive, to just touch upon few CSR initiatives, if you can.
মই অসমীয়াতেই কওঁ আজি মই সংবাদ মাধ্যমৰ ইলেক্ট্ৰনিক আৰু প্ৰিণ্ট মিডিয়াৰ সম্বোধন কৰিব পাৰি ভাল পাইছোঁ আজি আমাৰ কোম্পানীৰ কাৰণে এটা যথেষ্ট গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ সময়, প্ৰত্যাহ্বানৰ সময়, আৰু লগে লগে কোম্পানীটোৱে নতুন দিশত আগবাঢ়িছে। আপোনালোকে আটাই জানি সুখী হ'ব, আমাৰ ডাইৰেক্টৰ ফাইনেন্স হৰিশ মাধৱ চাবে ইতিমধ্যেই কৈছে যে থাৰ্ড কোৱাৰ্টাৰ কোম্পানীৰ পাৰফৰ্মেঞ্চটো আটাইতকৈ ভাল, আৰু অনাগত ভৱিষ্যতৰ দিনবোৰত আৰু সুন্দৰকৈ কোম্পানীটো গঢ় দিয়াৰ কাৰণে আমাৰ কৰ্পৰেট মেনেজমেণ্ট, CMD বা বৰ্ড অফ ডাইৰেক্টৰ্ছে যিখিনি ইনিচিয়েটিভ লৈছে, আমি সেইখিনি সম্পূৰ্ণৰূপে তৎকালীন ৰূপত কৰি তুলিবলৈ আমি দায়বদ্ধ। আহোঁ এতিয়া সমাজ কল্যাণ আঁচনিৰ অধীনত অল ইণ্ডিয়াৰ বিভিন্ন প্ৰান্তত কৰ্মাঞ্চলত অৱস্থিত বিভিন্ন গাঁৱে ভূঞে আৰ্থসামাজিক উন্নতিৰ কাৰণে বহুতো কাম হাতত লৈছে। উদাহৰণস্বৰূপে আপোনালোকে হয়তো আটাই জ্ঞাত, আমি ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ ভলীবল লীগৰ নিচিনাকৈ ৰুৰেল ভলীবল উইথ কমিউনিটি পাৰ্টিচিপেশ্যনৰ নিচিনা কনচেপ্টটো ট্ৰাই কৰিছোঁ, আৰু এই বস্তুবিলাকৰ একচুৱেলি পৰিণাম সুদূৰ প্ৰসাৰী। আমাৰ গাঁৱে ভূঞে থকা সৰু সৰু কণ কণ ল'ৰা ছোৱালীসকলক ভাল খেলৰ সুবিধা প্ৰদান কৰি বা তেখেতসকলক যিখিনি প্ৰাৰম্ভিক পৰ্যায়ত যিখিনি সহায় লাগে সেইখিনি কৰিবলৈ কোম্পানী আগবাঢ়িছে। আৰু দ্বিতীয়তেই অল ইণ্ডিয়াই কেইবাটাও ফ্লেগশ্বিপ প্ৰগ্ৰেম চলায়, যেনেকৈ ৰূপান্তৰ নামৰ আঁচনি এখন ৰূপান্তৰণ কৰি আছে, যেনেকৈ জীৱিকা নামৰ আঁচনি এখন কৰি আছে। গতিকে কেইবাধৰো আৰ্থসামাজিক দিশত যথেষ্ট উল্লেখনীয় কাম কৰিছে। আৰু আজি আপোনালোকক জনাবলৈ পাই সুখী হৈছোঁ যে আমাৰ এই কামখিনি কৰোঁতে আমি অসম চৰকাৰৰ পৰা বা ডিষ্ট্ৰিক্ট এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যন, পুলিচ এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যনৰ পৰা যথেষ্ট পৰিমাণৰ সহায় সহযোগ পাইছোঁ, আৰু তাৰ কাৰণে আমি কামখিনি আৰু সুন্দৰকৈ কৰি যাবলৈ প্ৰয়াস কৰিছোঁ আৰু আশা কৰিছোঁ যে যাতে তাৰ খুব এক সুন্দৰ ফলাফল আমি পাবলৈ সক্ষম হওঁ। গতিকে অনাগত ভৱিষ্যতৰ দিনবোৰ খুব উজ্জ্বল, তাৰ কাৰণে অল ইণ্ডিয়াৰ প্ৰত্যেকজন এমপ্লয়ীয়ে দায়বদ্ধ। গতিকে আমি প্ৰতিজ্ঞাবদ্ধ হৈ আজি CMD বা বৰ্ড অফ ডাইৰেক্টৰক জনাব বিচাৰিছোঁ যে আমি গোটেই কামখিনি সুচাৰুৰূপে চলাই নিবলৈ আমি কাৰ্যক্ষম কৰি তুলিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰা হাতত ল'ম। থেংক ইউ, ধন্যবাদ।
Thank you, Prakhanta. Pidipiti, and now you can.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. We will now start the interactive session. আপোনালোকে নিজৰ মিডিয়া হাউচৰ পৰিচয় আৰু নিজৰ নামটো ক'লে আমি ভাল পাম। মাইক্ৰফোনৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰা হৈছে। You may ask your questions, please. Yes, because I see. Yeah, they will, sir. How? Sir.
I have a very specific question. So under your mission 2.0, all efforts are made to step up production in our oil fields. So can you give us some kind of lowdown on it as to how it is, if it is new technology, or if it is all the aging fields are being revived? And my second question is, sir, that there is a crisis presently between Ukraine and Russia, and Oil India also has its assets in Russia. So how is the status and how are you securing that?
Let me first answer the Mission 4+. I think the next part CMD sir will be addressing. Mission 4+ is basically taking up production from 3 million to 4 million. This company has been marked as 3 million company. Oil India from the age of inception has been producing at the rate of 3 million only. So in this particular mission, we are taking up to enhance our production from 3 to 4. That is the basic purpose of Mission 4+. And in this particular mission, you will be very happy to know that we have not identified any other field. We have identified the fields which are already with us, where with some accelerated drilling, we can have more production from the same field. These are only nominated fields available with us, and with the nominated fields, we will be increasing the number of drilling activities, number of production activities like workover and other well intervention activities, and with that, we will be increasing the production from 3 to 4. Definitely, as you have rightly pointed out, there will be technology intervention as and when required. We have identified few technologies. One, hydrofracking we have already identified, and the LOA has been also issued to the party, and party will be working from March end. So with that we will be again getting some production. And mostly I can name you the fields. One is Bagzan field, which is basically earmarked for gas production. Then we have two fields. One is Lakwagao and one is Balimara. These are the two additional fields. And one field is in Arunachal Pradesh, that is Kumsai. And the fifth one is in Rajasthan, Baghewala. In these 5 fields, we will be doing extended drilling for getting more production. So that is all about Mission 4+.
I think as far as this question of Russia-Ukraine is concerned, it may be too early to offer any comment. It is a political issue. I think let it be resolved, then only. So far, we are not able to analyze any impact because things are going on normally.
Hello sir, this is Devananda from Delhi, Prabhu. Just wanted to know, in accordance with the new exploration and licensing policy, number of private players have come up and have started occupying oil fields. And it has always been alleged that private players are not as responsible as the oil, particularly in keeping with the safety measures for which the Bagzan incident has happened. So post-Bagzan period, what are the measures that have been taken out for safety issues? And secondly, the global forest works, they actually highlight that from 2014 to 2018, the forest depletion in Northeast was not less than 6,229 square kilometers. And then oil was one of the contributing agencies for deforestation. So what are the measures for afforestation, particularly in concerning with the CSP kind of schemes?
First was NELP. Actually, you may be aware that Oil India, earlier it was a private company. It became a public sector in 1981. Then a few blocks in Odisha, Andaman and Rajasthan were allotted to it. Whereas ONGC has been a government company and they got all their blocks all over India under nomination. Then from 1997, it was thought by the government of India there has to be a level playing field, for which they made certain changes in the policy, and private parties also started coming in with that. That has really helped Indian government in boosting the oil and gas production. Similarly, later on in 2018, after 2016 it was thought, 2018 this open acreage licensing policy, now OALP came. In first round, second round, there were a lot of participation from private parties. But if you see the last 5 rounds, there is hardly any participation from any private company. So your worry of allotment of all the things to private company may not be that serious, but it has to be a level playing field. Whether it is government company or private, whoever gives the better plans, better output, government will allot to them. Now, second part I'll tell Director Operation on the Bagjan, post-Bagjan.
I think, so as the query was that after Bagzan incident, what are the actions taken for strengthening the safety issues? So in Oil India, we have immediately taken up all the SOPs. We have some standard operating procedures for doing any operation. So when the Bagzan incident happened, then it was understood that there were some lapses, there were some missing link in the SOPs or standard operating procedures. So we have taken up all the SOPs. We have 1044 operations for which we have standard operating procedures, and we took up all the SOPs and reviewed one by one by engaging one consultant and with our internal input also. Then we have removed all the SOPs so that any missing link that is there in the earlier SOP can be resolved. So that is one step that we have done immediately. Then second immediate step was to strengthen our CMT team. We had a crisis management team. So crisis management team, as we could found in Baghjan, that our crisis management team was not sufficient to handle such a big blowout. The strength of Baghjan blowout was quite strong, and in fact it can be considered as the most strongest onshore well blowout. So that was very difficult to control, and we decided that with this type of CMT activity, we will have to strengthen our CMT group. So we have immediately placed people there. We have immediately ordered for some machineries. Some of the machineries have already arrived, and some of the machineries are already in dispatch stage. They will be in liaison shortly. So this is the second step we had done. And third, we have restructured our organization in terms of walkover. Basically, that was a walkover of where the Baghjan incident happened. And in after Baghjan incident, we could found that there was some lack of accountability in some part of the job. So we decided that entire job should be accountable to one particular section. Accordingly, it was the earlier structure was changed, and the walkover operation which were earlier with the drilling team has been shifted to production team. So that is one major restructuring we have done. Entire fleet of people along with machinery has been changed, shifted from drilling to production department, and there is only single point responsibility in the head of production on the walkover job. So that there is continuity in operation, continuity in decision making, and accountability on a single head for this type of job. So that is these are the three steps we had taken after Baghjan.
Thank you, Pankaj. On this forestation issue, you may be knowing that we have engaged the giant pine, Jadhav pine, with us, and I'll request RC to highlight on those initiatives for forestation.
See, as a part of the government's mandate, the company has also drawn up effective plans to become carbon neutral within the stipulated timeline. As a first step towards it, we have roped in the services of Sri Jadhav Payeng, Padma Shri Jadhav Payeng, as a brand ambassador, a green ambassador for Oil India Limited. The plans have been drawn up to effectively identify those forests which have been termed as highly degraded forests by the Forest Department. A pilot project to this effect has already started. It's in a place close to Digboy. Looking at the results of this, we are now also trying to basically take it further. So to this regard, Oil India would be willing to sign a memorandum of understanding. I mean, whatever carbon we produce, at least a portion of it we want to plow back to the environment. So that is the whole idea. And it's a very effective plan. And hopefully as time proceeds, we should be able to neutralize the carbon neutral component to a very, very large extent in times to come. There are plans in the pipeline. We are only trying to basically plant indigenous species of the plants, be it the bamboo cultivation, be it the various other species of trees. And companies also trying to promote a small nursery to this effect so that through community participation we could aggressively pursue it. I think it's 100 hectares to start. 100 hectares is the first thing that we are trying to do it. To start with, that will be in Digboy. It's a pilot project. The time span is for 2 years. And then gradually as proceed, I think we are in the process of tying up with the Forest Department through an MOU to take up this kind of a plantations in an aggressive manner. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If I may add, sir, part of the project, we are also looking at strengthening the animal corridor, especially, there's a elephant and man conflict in some parts of our state where we are operating. So we would create a food park for the elephants in the coming times in the same place where sir has mentioned in Digboy, the Digboy forests. Yes, please, the next question. কোনোবা এইফালে পাছফালৰ পৰা
I just would like to add another question. If we go back to the past operation, it was always experienced that right from the starting of the oil exploration in northeast India, the whole lot of Jogu cultivation and switching cultivation were entirely wiped out from the practice. And similarly, I just wanted to link this question to the CSR activities, that when you select for a livelihood program offering different courses, do you have in mind to compensate the livelihood, traditional livelihood practices that have in the society, or you directly offer computer courses which has no link with the heritage?
I think it's a very interesting question that you have asked. All our CSR programs are driven by basically the community needs. We do an extensive PRI, an extensive baseline study to basically decide on the CSR projects, CSR interventions required. One of the key aspects has also been factored in. I'll give a simple example in the district of Changlang, where that's an operational area that we have. We have taken a cluster of villages, the areas of which are being taken up there is like we have a lot of honey production, we have mustard seed production, and into various very value-added crops. So they formed a cooperative society. They have been helped with the infrastructural support. In fact, the Indian Institute of Entrepreneurs has been forthcoming to help us and guide us this project. And as a consequence, when you look back to the time span, we almost have a very effective set of people who are managing this trust, and then through a cooperative society, they are trying to produce the indigenous crops. Same is the case with Assam now. We are trying to replicate that model and bring it to the districts of Dibrugarh and Tinsukia. Through again an effective baseline survey, which was covered over almost close to 4,000 families, we found that based on the land holding pattern that they have, the type of crops that could be grown indigenously, the efforts have been made to basically lay a lot of emphasis on growth of turmeric, for instance. Turmeric, black peppers are the kind of products which could be grown in abundance. We have also tried to emphasize through our society called as All India Rural Development Society, take up modern agricultural practices in a big way, where a lot of new value-added crops have been tried out, and the results have been very, very encouraging. And most importantly, I would also like to mention here that we are also encouraging growth and furthering providing effective training to social entrepreneurs, people who can really take up such activities in a cluster approach where you can render all possible help to them. So I think I have addressed your question on this. Yeah, thank you.
I'll just like to supplement what RC just said. While all our CSR, as he has explained, all the traditional practices in furthering those, in promoting those, in maintaining all those things, all the maximum CSR activities are directed towards that. But you mentioned about the computer education. So modern education is also an important aspect of CSR activities. So we are trying to maintain a balance between the tradition as well as the modern things.
Speaking of environment, what is your investment plan for green hydrogen? It was mentioned last time.
Actually, if you see the usage of green hydrogen in E&P industry like Oil India, there are very limited scope. But if we consider refineries, nearby refineries, there are a lot of scope because they generate a lot of hydrogen. And this green hydrogen, we have taken a pilot project, and the cost of that pilot project is about 6 crores, I believe. That will produce about 10 kg of green hydrogen per day, 10.5 kg, and using 100 kilowatt of power. After production of this green hydrogen, there will be a lot of R&D work which is going through all over India by various initiatives. Our scope will be whether there is any effect on the gas pipeline if we inject some more hydrogen with the natural gas to increase the calorific value. So this will be ascertained in a period of about 6 to 8 months or 1 year, then only the actual usage of hydrogen, green hydrogen in ENP industry can be established. Itu আছে না?
Yeah, this gas will be used for our natural gas pipeline, which will be used in domestic gas. So our basic experiment will be with the domestic gas. We'll be adding few 5% amount of hydrogen in that. When we'll try to see if there is any increase in calorific value or if there is any detrimental effect on the pipeline. So all these studies will be carried out under a R&D project. We have tied up with Guwahati IIT also. So after that study only we will be able to give a right feedback and what will be the final outcome. And at the same time we have some other plan also, like hydrogen is now considered as the future fuel, and it is being said that the entire fuel will go to hydrogen only. Buses will be running by hydrogen. In fact, government of Assam is also taking up some steps in buying some hydrogen fuel bus. So if that is possible, then we will be using that hydrogen for running at least one bus. That can be done. So all these are in a very planning stage only, and once the hydrogen is actually established, then only we will be able to comment further on this.
Thank you, sir. Yes, yeah, I see hands up, please. Microphone, please.
Microphone, please.
Manas Pratim Sharma.
Just a small question. As is mentioned about volleyball league, will you please explain what is the participation, what is the feedback, all these things, and adding to that, just it was mentioned on city gas distribution. I think it's in Guwahati. Could you please elaborate this?
First to call.
See, I think under the able leadership of one of the very prominent sports person from Assam, Abhijit Bhattacharya, a movement that a grassroots has started. It has been named as Brahmaputra Volleyball League, where for all the districts in Upper Assam, Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, so as a part of the entire process and the SOP, the coaches have been trained initially. They've gone back to their respective villages. They formed their own teams. They've started coaching them, and now it is a phase of tournament now. So the tournaments are being played at the various levels at the community level. This entire process is being facilitated in the districts of Upper Assam by Oil India Limited. And as a consequence, what we see, the results are very encouraging. They just started at about 50 teams to start with. And today we have close to 258 teams who have been effectively participating. And in times to come, I'm sure more and more teams will come up, play. And as a part of this, we are also trying to ensure physical development of the students who are into these games. There is an app being developed. So through the app, you can monitor their growth, monitor the health and other aspects. So this will bring in a lot of positive feeling towards the company. And as a part of the company's initiative, sports has always been an area of lot of trust for us. So I think in times to come, we should be able to produce some good volleyball players from this part of the country for sure, who would be playing for the nationals, also playing for the country per se. Thank you. I think second part, I think.
Second part regarding this gas distribution in Guwahati Metro. You may be knowing that there is a company called Purva Bharati. There 3 companies are partners. Oil India and GAIL Gas, they have got 26%, and Assam Gas Company is the leader with 48%. The plan submitted to PNGRB, it is already being implemented, and I think in few areas here they have provided the this gas pipeline to connect it with the domestic one. Their plan to establish first CNG station is within June this year. So I think things are on track. It is going as per the target submitted to PNGRB.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions? Okay, if
Thank you
don't
very
have
much.
any more questions, I think we already shared with you the press note. We thank all in this board of directors for the presence.
Any question on finance side or anything, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, let us break for the tea session.
Right, so we have a high tea.
High tea session.
I'll request Mr. Madhav Barua, General Manager Pipeline Admin, sir, to just come and deliver the vote of thanks. They've helped us in organizing this. Mr. Madhav Barua, please.
Respected CMD sir, Director of Finance, Director of Operations of Oil India Limited, Resident Chief Executive, esteemed media personnel, media team, media houses from Northeast and Assam. It's been a privilege to have all of you here. I offer on behalf of the company, I would like to offer my sincere appreciation and thank you for being here and giving us your valuable time. We'll meet again. We'll have more such press conferences. Hopefully, we'll be able to see you again. Thank you so much. Everyone is requested to please join us for a high tea, which is being served outside. Thank you.